Hi everybody. I'm in a different spot, right for the moment anyway. I'm waiting to be picked up by my friend Jackie. We're going out for lunch and I have a few minutes, so I wanted to get started on this video that I'm doing for today. And today's video is really about the way we feel about ourselves as we perceive that we are no longer in our prime. We no longer look like the person that we used to recognize in the mirror. We no longer have the same value to society, to our families, to the world at large that we used to do when we were younger and more vital. We really have to do something about that, because you can easily slip into a place of extreme discomfort for yourself as a person, as an aging person in a society that values youth and holds it in such high regard, or so it appears. There are many societies that venerate older people. Ours is not one of them. So we look for new ways to make ourselves feel better if we can, or we start to retreat into a place of mild depression, certainly discomfort, certainly unhappiness with the person we see reflected in any piece of glass that we pass by as we go about our daily lives, and the dreaded mirror at home. And by the way, let me just show you, my little girl is with me right now. Say hello, little girl. Hello. Say hi, Ruby. She is in my lap, and what you see up there is a rug that really should be on the floor in this room, but I need somebody to move the table first in order for me to be able to do it, because I cannot do it. And my arm is killing me. I really need to have this thing on something steady so I don't have to be holding it up. Okay, I think I'm just starting there. I'm going to pick it up when I get back from lunch, and we'll talk about this some more. But there are many things that you can do to make a difference in the way you perceive yourself, no matter how the changes come about. Whether you feel that you've lost your looks, whether you feel that your skin tone is fading, you're seeing wrinkles on your face that you didn't see before. And by the way, is this the ugliest lipstick on me that you've ever seen? I can't stand it. It was part of one of the kits that I had. It's one of those matte things, and I threw something over it because I can't stand it. It's way too dark a color for me. Okay, after that segue, again, we are going to talk about how you can make changes in yourself in ways that work for you, that make you feel a whole heck of a lot better. See you on the other side of lunch. Okay, back from lunch, and had a really nice lunch with Jackie. And I had some salmon, which I haven't had for a little while, and I really enjoyed it. And with a baked potato, we together decided not to have dessert. And you would have thought that would have been a good thing. But then I came home and my Lindt chocolate was staring me in the face, and oh well, you know how the rest of that story goes. In any case, back to the story I was telling you earlier. At the time, having my little girl right with me, as she is right now. Say hi, Ruby. You say hi, my love. That's Mama's girl. Just Mama's girl. So, what I was talking about before, oh, I didn't have to tell you about the chocolate. You can see it on my lips. How bad am I? Okay. When you feel terrible about yourself, the first time you look in the mirror and you see somebody that you're struggling to deal with or recognize, and you notice that you gained a little bit too much weight, or you notice the jowls are starting, or you notice you're getting a little bit wrinkled, or you're losing the color in your face as you get older and your hair turns gray, your skin tends to get a little bit more drawn looking, For me, it was more sallow. For you, it may be paler, but you lose some of the color in it as well as all the rest of it. I made a conscious decision at one point in my life that I was going to change what was not working for me. What I did was, I'm sorry, I really have to bring this down to my little girl again. Take a look. Hey, Rube. Hello. Hello, fluffy girl. Hello, little girl. Hello, sweet girl. Aw. So at that point, I said, okay, and I started to watch YouTube quite accidentally at the beginning. And I decided I wanted to learn how to do makeup because perhaps if I could start to do makeup, I could make myself look better than the girl that I was seeing in the mirror. And I really was intent on doing that. In the beginning, it was tough. And in the beginning, I thought, oh my God, look at this old woman trying to do something that the young women do. And what is this about? As I got better at it and as I got more comfortable with it, I really appreciated it because it made me feel better about me. And that's what it's about in the end. It's about the way you feel about yourself. So whether it is accepting yourself as you now are, because you're not going to go back to that old person that you were. Now, there are some people who will try to regain it on some level, and they do that by having their treatments. They may have fillers, they may have plastic surgery. They may surgically alter every part of their bodies to try to regain that feeling of confidence. Whatever works for you is great. But if that's not the road you choose to take, there are other ways to do it. If you are unhappy because you feel as if you've gained weight and now you have a totally different shape, you may feel squarer, you may feel thicker, you may feel as if you have no waist if you had one before, and it can be really depressing. And as you get up into the larger sizes of clothing, you have fewer options. It's as if the designers discount the feelings of people who are not in that very small group who are of a certain size. I would say from 0 to 10. And if you're not in that size group, then they figured you would just wear whatever was out there and you would make do. I remember at one point in my life, it was not a very long period of time, it was a couple of years, maybe even a few years, that I actually had gone up to size 14 slacks. That was when a 14 was a 14, you know, before an 8 was a 14. So I remember going into stores and looking at the slacks, and there was a very small selection, and maybe there were 3 colors. If you looked at the size 6 or the 8s or the 10s or even the 12s, you had more of a selection. That was really disturbing, but I was what I was. So at the time, I made the most of what I could, finding things that looked attractive on me, or as attractive as they could. And people still thought I looked good. I still didn't feel good about myself because I still knew that that was not the me that I wanted to be. What I did at that point, I went to Weight Watchers. I went to Weight Watchers the first time. I was at the highest weight I had ever been at in my entire life. I had gone up to, I think it was 179 pounds. 179 or 177, something like that. I'm 5'6". I think I was 5'6.5" at my tallest. So I made a conscious decision at that point that I wanted to lose weight. I did not want to be that girl. I just didn't. And when I started it, interestingly, I truly believed it was not going to work. I went in with the attitude was, I'll try this, but it's not going to work. Well, magically, it did work. I took off 27 pounds. My goal weight for me was 145. I never got to that. I wound up at, I think it was 150 or I think it was 150 at that point. But strangely enough, 150 got me into a size 6. I went shopping for clothing afterwards, and everything that I wore when I came out of the dressing room, people would say to me, "Where did you get that?" Or they would then run to get it themselves because it had a really nice look. I had a girlfriend with me one time, and she was a size 12, and she said to me, "Oh my God," she said, "everything looks great on you." That was all terrific. And it lasted for quite a while. And then came the time when I gained weight again. It was slow at first. I got sloppy, and I wound up gaining weight. I never went as high as that initial weight, but I did gain weight. I went back to a size 10 and occasionally a size 12. Again, I didn't like the way I looked. So I wound up repeating the process twice more. And the third time was when the last time that I went to Weight Watchers. And not only, there was a kind of auxiliary benefit to doing it because the diet was such a healthy diet that I was actually feeling better. And again, this is not to speak about any particular diet system, and I know it's changed over the years and morphed into something totally different today than it used to be. But it really helped me to see myself in a better light, because so much of what we do to ourselves as women, especially, and men do it too. So if you're a guy watching this, I know it happens to you as well. But we are so used to people being judgmental of us if we don't look a certain way or have a certain weight or wear nice clothes or whatever the perception is that we have or they have of us is something that we have to deal with. And as I say, as we get older, it gets harder and it gets worse. Now, interestingly for me, because of my illness, I wound up losing a lot of weight. I lost the tumor, which had to be heavy, although I forgot to ask the doctor what it weighed, but it was huge, so it had to be heavy. I also had a hysterectomy at the same time, so I had fibroids. That had to have some weight. And I was sick, so I lost weight. I went from, well, when I started radiation, I was 155 pounds, and I had already lost some weight. I think at the higher end, I was 163 a couple of years ago. Was down to 155. I came out of the surgery when they weigh you in the bed, and I weighed I know at one point I weighed 139, and then at one point I weighed 131. I hadn't had that kind of weight since I was much younger. And of course, at first I looked horrible because I looked like death warmed over. I went through a lot. I was sick, and I went through a lot with the surgery. It was a lengthy surgery, a lot of anesthesia. I wound up needing an NG tube. I didn't eat anything for 6 or 7 days. I was on an IV and having no food, and I was sick as a dog. My goal was to gain weight at that point because I didn't feel well and I looked like hell. And if you saw me without my clothes on, dear God, not good. My body looked like something that somebody had sucked the contents out with a straw. And what was left was, this kind of flappy looking stuff. It was not good. As I started to get a little bit better, I really didn't care what I ate because I thought I can gain weight now. I was so used to looking at ingredients and watching what everything had in it that I no longer had to do that on that level. So again, I started to get sloppy, and recently I said to myself, I went up to 138. And I said I could see a little bit of a muffin top. And I said to myself, this is the point at which you can make a conscious decision to not do this, to go back to eating the healthier food that you were eating, for being better to yourself, taking better care of yourself, Or you can go back to being that person who is will-o'-the-wisp, where you just are at the mercy of everything coming at you. But you don't have to do that. And I'm going to say the same thing to you, whether in your case it's your weight or the way you think you look or the things that you can change about yourself. Maybe it's because you don't have people to converse with. Maybe it's because you feel lonely. Maybe it's because you feel as if there is nothing of value that you can contribute to your world. That's never true, because we have so much wisdom in us, simply from living as long as we have, and simply from experiencing all the things that we've experienced along the way. We have great value. And I would say to you, be good to yourself. Find something to start, some tiny little way. If it makes you feel great and it makes you feel better about yourself to get a wig, if you have the money to do it and you like to do that sort of thing, do it. If you get a new outfit that makes you feel good, do it. Again, within the framework of what you can afford to do and will not compromise your life. But you are in much more control of your world than you think you are. And you can make the changes that will start to make you feel good again. Maybe peripheral. It may be momentary. But you're going to notice little changes. And it's going to really help you a lot. So I would say to you, pick something that bothers you about you and do something to change it. Sometimes it's as simple as going out there and being with other people and either helping somebody or saying something nice that makes a difference in someone's life. It's really funny because one of the guys that I've been interacting with online had talked about how we can make such a huge difference in other people's lives simply by saying something nice or acknowledging something that they do that's wonderful, or just making them feel better in some small way. I do that all the time. I don't really think about it, but I was very conscious of it after he first mentioned it. And I've been doing it every place I go since then. And you can see that little smile on somebody's face. We had a waiter today who was new at the place. And he said that he had to check on a few things because he was new. And at one point, we let him know what a great job we thought he did. Simple little thing, and it was true. And what a difference it would make to him. So just, another thought. Sometimes by going out and just making somebody else feel better makes us feel better as well. There are so many ways. This topic can be ongoing, and you can all contribute to it, because I know you all have your ways as well. So let me know in the comments down below what you do for yourself that makes a difference to you when you find yourself feeling a little bit low, or feeling that you just don't like the person you've become, or you don't know who you are anymore, and you don't know why you're here, and you don't know what you bring to the table. There's an awful lot. And how lucky are we as a group to have found each other so we can encourage each other. On that note, I'm going to end this for today, and I will do my best to come on tonight and do a live for those of you who like to join in on a party for a while. I'm going to try to do it a little bit earlier tonight. I will try to do it, if I possibly can, I would like to try to do it maybe by 8 o'clock my time, Eastern time. So I will do that to the best of my ability, and I will see you all very soon. And as I say, we can pick up this topic again, because it's a topic that is so familiar to so many. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I've got my little baby, Miss Tish, wanting to show me some love. It's my little girl. Aww. So, on that note, my friends, take care. I will see you tonight, or not, or next time. Bye-bye.